40 years of developing hockey players from youth to the pros, Minnesota Hockey Camps has a player development program for you. Located in Breezy Point, Minnesota, our professionally coached on-ice development sessions, off-ice speed training, weight room sessions, stick handling sessions, shooting skill sessions are the right program for you. MHC takes great pride in its tradition with developing NHL players like Chris Stewart, Ryan Bugsy Malone, Scotty Hartnell, and TJ Oshie. Our dedicated staff is ready for you. Come check us out at MinnesotaHockeyCamps.com. Sign up for your chance to become the player you've always wanted to be. Hashtag who will be next.
Cold showers, leaking pipes, furnace giving you the chills? Look no further. At Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, we've got you covered. From expert plumbing solutions to HVAC magic and all sheet metal work, we are your one-stop shop for comfort and reliability. Professional service from a team that cares. Say goodbye to household woes and hello to peace of mind. Call Iron Range Plumbing and Heating today and feel the difference.
At Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, we have the trucks. Over 47 new Silverados and Sierras sitting currently on the lot with more to come. We have all the options: LT, RST, LTZ, High Countries, ZR2s. We have heavy duties. We have Sierra, SLT, Elevations, Denali's. We are equipped for the truck you are looking for. With great rebates currently, with up to $12,500 off on select models, now would be a great time to take advantage of savings and get yourself into a new truck today. Grand Rapids GM in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
To the Tea with Miss McGill Show, presented by Aero Auto Glass and Supply. Aero Auto provides home services like installing and repairing those beautiful windows and or beautiful glass doors and or glass shower doors. Aero Auto offers commercial glass doors. If you've got a business or commercial building, they will install them and repair them. And of course, they're your local source for windshield repairs and replacement. With same-day services available, all of their work is warranted. They accept all insurance companies for your convenience. If it's flat glass, it's Aero Auto in downtown Virginia and downtown Hibbing. It is Puka speaking. To my right, or my left, your right, it is the star of the show, Coach Reed Larson. We are into week 14, episode 128, just 3 weeks of boys high school hockey remaining. And happy Ash Wednesday. I got out this morning.
You got out this morning.
9 a.m.
Grind it out.
Grind it
out. Got to mass. Good for you.
Yeah. School closed today, all the snow.
Yeah, it was a snow day today. Didn't get out the house until this afternoon. I needed to make sure that I could get out of the driveway safely with all the snow we had. Probably had about anywhere between 6 and 8 inches, huh?
Yeah, I'd say, well, I went up to my first steps, so I was gonna say about 8. I said maybe even 10 because this was at about 5:30. I was shoveling, so it was about right to there, and then we got another couple inches, and I don't know. They're saying maybe a little bit overnight again.
Yeah, so whatever. Might as well add more. I was, just so you know, I over the weekend was out on my motorcycle.
Were you really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
The roads were clear.
Very clear.
It was almost 50 degrees on what day was that? Friday or Saturday?
Yeah.
It was
Saturday was beautiful. Yeah,
it was
I
beautiful.
went for 2 walks on Sunday. Yes.
Went for a little rip.
Oh, good for you.
Around Ice Lake and home.
Is that a record? February?
Nah, I think so. Maybe. No, I had started once years ago, like mid-February, like before the 10th.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus. Okay.
But that was when I was living in Virginia, so that was quite a while ago.
Well, speaking of Saturday, that was Valentine's. Anything big for Valentine's going on?
Nothing special. Valentine's Day always tends to be, it's so close to our anniversary, so we do something special on our anniversary, and usually we just chill at home on Valentine's Day.
All right.
So that's okay, too.
That's right.
That's okay, too.
Well, we're going to talk about your wife's Proctor Rails here in just a little bit. Yeah, so
she's going to be happy that you brought that up.
Yeah, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, so
just scoring points with Mama.
Well, she's one of our big fans, so we got to do it. But Single A State, 2 weeks from today. Wednesday today. So 2 weeks from today, they'll be dropping the puck at the Single A Boys State High School Hockey Tournament. Before we dive in, we've got numerous subs. Shane McCracken, Garrett Trombley, Steve Georgie, Paul Haplin, Jackie Bottas, Alicia Nicole, Mike Zielinski, and a guy I know you know, Brian Hansen.
The Reaper.
The Greenway Raider.
The Reaper.
And we're lasering in now on about 1,000 subs on Facebook. So who's going to be sub 1,000? So make sure you get over there and get subscribed to America's fastest growing hockey podcast right now. But yeah, I'd like to see Hanner. So shout out to Hanner. Hope you're watching. All right, so we got to go over everything that happened last night. All the quarterfinals, playoffs are here, so we'll get you up into the games of the week, presented by the Rink Sports Bar and Grill over in Eveleth, just down from the Hockey Hall of Fame. A very historic hockey building, so if you're in the area or out of town, make sure you get there. Breakfast on the weekends, lunch, dinner, daily specials that include Monday, Burger Night, Taco Tuesday, Wing Wednesday, the legendary Fish Fry on Friday. Of course, with those of you who are Catholic, Ash Wednesday today, so fish fries will be the big thing on Friday. So get over to the legendary Fish Fry at the Ring Sports Bar and Grill on Friday night. And then Saturday, as always, the traditional prime rib. 248-8582, 248-8582, or the ringsportsbarandgrill.com. All right, quickly, let's go over some of the, I'll start with some of the blowouts. I'll just kind of go through it. You can give some commentary on what you're thinking here. So it was Hibbing over Ely, 14-1. Right here at Yanmar, Grand Rapids over Northern Edge, 11-0. Keosco Carleton disposed of Greenway 6-0, and Rock Ridge with a big win over Cambridge Isanti 7-1. So
no surprises, everybody. It seems to me in the area that was playing. I don't know of too many upsets that happened. I heard of an upset in a different section.
Oh, you
I
did?
heard it. Yeah, my old former stomping grounds that I used to coach down in Wilmer.
Really?
Wilmer was the 6th seed.
I saw
the
they were.
Otters of Fergus Falls were the 3
Really?
seed, and Wilmer won.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah,
Congratulations
good
to
for
the
old
Wilmer Cardinals.
Yep, the old Cardinals. Good for them. Ended up moving on to the semifinals, on to the MAC in St. Cloud. So shout out to Wilmer Cardinals.
Wow, that's good for them. Yeah. Okay.
That was one that was an upset seed, but otherwise I didn't hear of too many others. From the scores that you just kicked out there with Hibbing and Ely, there's no surprise there. 14-1. Here last night at Yanmar, 11-0. Cole K in Greenway. Greenway put a little bit of a fight up there for a little while, it looked like, but obviously the strong prevailed there with CEC and Rock Ridge actually going into, from what I heard, I don't know this and anybody can quote me wrong if they know for sure, that it sounded like it was 2-1 or 3-1 going into the third period. Rock Ridge was up, and then they exploded in the third period with like 4 or 5
Okay,
goals.
that's interesting because I was at girls basketball again last night.
Yeah.
Chisholm Gym, legendary Chisholm Gym, Bob McDonald Court. But it was 2-. Someone texted me, said 2-1 Rock Ridge, and I didn't know if that was a fight. I just didn't have
I
time.
think
I didn't know if that was a final or
in between
so
periods.
it was okay.
Yeah.
So and then I looked and I just thought, well, maybe it was an error. Maybe somebody saw something wrong.
Well,
so,
someone put it in the comments. Now this is just secondhand information that I'm getting in between periods of our game last night. Looking at all the scores and getting texts from people, and I got secondhand text saying going into the third period it was 2-1 Rock Ridge. It might have been 3-1. Put it in the comments if you know. But at any rate, it ended up the way it should have. That was obviously a blowout there as well too, with 7-1 over Cambridge. All the teams that should be moving on to Amsoil are moving on to Amsoil Arena, and looking forward to a Saturday afternoon and evening, and a little
semifinal Saturday. It's here.
Pit stop in the middle at the Green Mill too, right?
100%. Yeah, we're going to tell you all about it, so stay tuned. But a couple of months that we did want to highlight. So, number 4 Proctor, number 5 I Falls. Now this was a tie. They were tied after the coaches' vote. Proctor actually won a coin flip to get the 4 seed because the tiebreaker was head-to-head. Well, they tied.
Yeah.
During the year, 1-1. So, like I said, so I Falls has to make the 150, 160 mile trek down to Proctor for at least the second year in a row where Proctor disposed of the Broncos last year in overtime. Now, Proctor scored 3.5 minutes in. I believe that might have been a freshman for Proctor. They added another late in the first, and that's all it took. Proctor with a 2-0 win. Proctor out-penaltied the Broncos 4-3, but I Falls outshot the Rails 36-16 in the defeat. Did you hear anything on that one?
I just heard that Proctor's goalie had quite the night there, and in the home barn there, and at the
And looked pretty full
building there. Looked like there was a lot of people there. So when I got home after, there was only one other team that my wife was excited to talk about winning last night, other than us, and she was excited to say, "Hey, I heard Proctor won."
Yeah.
So I had to be excited for her.
Yeah, well, that was the one that a lot of people on the range had their eye on, because we've said this in the past that since the formation of Rockridge on the single A side, it's been the same 4 teams for semifinal Saturday. It's been Chisholm, Hibbing, Cloquet-Esco, Carleton, Hermantown, and Proctor. So there was a chance that maybe the purple and gold would have shown, but like I said, the Rails prevailed last night. But so coming in, I Falls number 15 in the state. A team we talked about a lot this year. They impressed. Like I said, hitting the Let's Play Hockey, top 20 for the first time in several years, and they ended the season 22-2-2.
Yeah, that's a nice finishing record to the season, and I think something to build on there for Coach Baldwin and the future of the program. It's nice to see them kind of come out of the cave that the program has been in for a while. No disrespect with that comment, but that's kind of where it's been.
Right.
And it's just nice to see Coach put some work in and actually have a year to put together. Now, it's going to take a couple of years to continue that. You're going to have to be able to build the schedule up a little bit and challenge kids, and hopefully we see them right back there at the top, top 4, top 5 seed next year, and maybe they'll make it out of the semis.
Yeah, that'd be good to see. So I agree with everything you just said there. Just good for the program. Good to see them have a little bit of momentum and give the fans up there something to cheer for. All right, the other 4 or 5 matchup on the AA side we had our eye on. Number 5 Marshall, and like I said, I'm sure many of you saw, but so the seeding in the AA, we need to go over it because it happened after the show, but it ended up being Rapids, Rockridge, Duluth East, Forest Lake, Duluth Marshall. I was telling a little pre-show from a reliable source that the 80 in Marshall was livid with the 5 seed. So instead of hosting a game, of course they're on the road down to Forest Lake. Forest Lake with 3 goals in the first. Nobody scores in the second. Marshall gets 2 early in the third. 3-2 game. Everything's going Marshall's way at that point, but then Forest Lake buried 2 late, not an empty netter, but buried 2 5-on-5 goals late for the 5-2 win. Much like the previous game, Marshall doubled up shots on Forest Lake, 34-17. 5 penalties in each game, with Forest Lake getting 1 major. Kellen Melberg will not be lacing him up against the Thunderhawks, right? That's how the majors work, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a major where he got booted from the game. It might have just been a 5-minute major.
Okay, so it's not an automatic.
It didn't seem like there was a game misconduct attached to it, so he likely will be playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my eye on that game, most of the night there in between periods, just kind of watching what was going on with this. Want to know who our opponent was going to be, and a lot of people had their opinions about who they thought was going to win. I know who we wanted to win, and for different reasons, so to speak. And we have already played Marshall this year and had a nice game against those guys, and they had some fight back against us, and that was a good little battle. But we actually want to see Forest Lake.
Okay.
So it's time for a little bit of redemption. We went down there in December, and we did not fare very well, and lost in overtime to those guys in a game that I think we could have won very easily had we shown up to play 51 minutes. So
is that the one where did they score with like 1 second in overtime?
They scored with literally 0 time left on the clock, and it was a goal, but you know how that works.
Okay.
As soon as
so it wasn't overtime, it was regular?
Right, I guess it wasn't overtime.
Or was it overtime?
No,
okay.
no, it wasn't.
Was it? Okay.
No, it wasn't.
Would have went to overtime. Everyone was thinking overtime, and then they sneak one in with a...
Yep.
Okay, no time on the clock, okay.
I think. I can't, don't quote.
But I can't
Maybe
remember.
it would have been overtime or something, and actually it was overtime, and if it would have expired, we would have stayed in a tie.
Okay.
Because, that is for sure the case. It was overtime.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So...
yeah, that's who we wanted to see. I mean, we wanted the opportunity, and I know our guys have been talking about it since the end of December, that is a team that we would like to see a matchup against in the section playoffs, and no better time to do it than at Amsoil Arena. Our guys want Forest Lake right now, no question about it. I kind of thought that at the end of the day, I thought Marshall was going to win that game, but Forest Lake comes out right away in the first period, boom, 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 3-0. Yep. So they're up with no score in the second period, and then the third period there was a lot of pushback, and I think a lot of those shots came from Marshall in the third period.
All right, fellas, you just can't get the hockey itch out of yourself. The college route isn't for you. Community college route isn't for you. The junior hockey route isn't for you. Well, there's still hockey that you can play. Why don't you check out the Jackson Hole Moose out in Jackson, Wyoming? Take a look at these guys. Full crowds, full hockey, packed houses every night. Get a hold of TJ Thomas on Facebook, and he can get you hooked up with what's going on out there in Jackson Hole.
Integral Hockey Twin Ports offers top-of-the-line junior, intermediate, and senior sticks for sale. Integral also repairs shafts, blades, and goalie sticks using their patented process that restores your stick's original performance. Same flex, same kick point. Shaft and blade repairs come with a lifetime warranty at the repair spot, so you can trust your stick to perform game after game. Give Sand a call, 218-940-9089.
Would you like to hear about Zorba's specials? On Mondays, it's Micro Monday. All taps are just $4. Tuesdays, $3 tacos and $4 Dos Equis. Wednesdays, personal pizzas, $8 and domestic taps, $4. Thursdays, we have deals on nachos and $5 Surly taps. We offer trivia on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., bingo on Thursday at 6 p.m., and then karaoke Thursdays at 10 p.m.
Similar to what they did to us. I mean, we had a 5-2 lead on Marshall in their barn at end of January there, and they came out in the third period and ended up just pumping us for the third period, and we just barely hung on because they've got a little kickback.
Well, I remember you saying we escaped the game against Marshall.
We did. Yeah, and I mean, just going back to some of the comments about the seedings, I don't know how anybody can be upset about that. Obviously, I mean, nobody wants to travel all the way down to Seeds. I get that part of it. No one wants to go down to Forest Lake, especially with the record that Duluth Marshall had. I get why you're disappointed. You can't look at things like QRF. I mean, those things, they don't hold all the cards.
Right.
They really don't. They don't always put the best teams where they should be. The best way is to have coaches vote and hold coaches accountable for the way they voted. And there was no way that you could get what you could consider an outright number one seed out of everything, because take the top 5 seeds and everybody had got beaten by everybody
we talked about
else.
this all year, right? This was a tough seeding meeting.
It is. I mean, look at all the people that were ranking seedings out there on Twitter and on Facebook and everybody else. Carl East had comments about it. He's like, I put my hands in the air. Yeah. I don't know, Dave Spihar's parody page on Twitter, no idea. I don't know where to go. And with this one, it was a lot easier to seed 6, 7, and 8. Yep. But here was the kicker at the end. Obviously Duluth Marshall had a fantastic front end of the season. They were doing phenomenal. They beat some teams. They beat Rock Ridge early in the or not early, but partway through the season. They ended up losing some games at the end that I think really hurt them. That they lost the game to us. They lost to Duluth East, which was fresh in everybody's mind.
And a pounding.
Didn't just lose to them. They got beat 4-0.
And I also heard East had 2 pipes in the first period.
Right. So, I mean, that's that. And I think there was no question that, when it comes down to the end of it, who the top 2 teams are in the section. I think on a given night, Rapids and Rock Ridge are the 2 top teams in the section. I think you got the right teams in the top 4. Yep. I think you could have flipped a coin over Forest Lake and Duluth Marshall to win that game, and I think any given night Marshall could have won it. Yep. But I think these are the teams that should be in the playoff, going into the semifinals. It should be Duluth East finished the season strong. Yep. They did. They finished well. Did they deserve the 3 seed? I don't know. I mean, they could have got the 3 or the 4, to be honest with you, but at any rate, does it matter if Marshall's going to be playing Forest Lake or Duluth East again? I mean, it could have.
Well, we knew that. Whoever's that 5 seed, you had a tough game.
At least you're not traveling down to Forest Lake. Yeah. Right. But it is what it is, and I'm not here to complain or say anything either, because we ended up with the 1 seed, which we were obviously really happy with.
Sure. When you talk about coin flip, there was another coin flip I read about. Our favorites, the Rosemont Moms. The Rosemont Irish had to flip a coin. Actually, they did like a wheel with St. Thomas for the number 1 seed. Was that 3 AA? And Rosemont came out on top. I see they won last night, but just another reason to shout out the Rosemont Moms. But no, let me go back to QRF real quick. Was it QRF was that coach from Randolph's big thing? Was it QRF when he was there? Is that how they seeded the?
I don't know. They did it for a couple of years.
Oh, just a couple of years. Okay.
They got rid of it because the room it just was. You're dealing with computer error versus human error.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's like AI.
Yeah.
You know, can you really trust everything that's in there? Okay. You know, you play these teams and it doesn't give enough credit to teams that play tougher schedules. It really doesn't. And the thing is it doesn't matter if you play a tough schedule if you don't win any of those games in the tough schedule. It could have been a really bad year for the Thunderhawks if we would have been well under 500. But the fact that we had to go 8 of the last 10 games in order to finish 500.
Yeah.
We had 8-2 in the last 10.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big factor. And I think a couple of things that played into it too were, you know, you start looking at the Lake Superior Conference too. The conference doesn't matter for anything, but it does when you're looking at it going, who do I seed where?
Right.
You know, who do I seed in this situation? I don't know, because all these teams, it's mashed potatoes. I don't know who to seed. Well, that was one of our arguments too when it comes to the seeding is there's 8 teams in the Lake Superior Conference. 4 of them are single A, 4 of them are double A. Hibbing finished first in the conference. Rapids finished second in the conference.
And those are all common
And they're both at the top.
Right.
They're not in the same section. Pretty clear when you got section points going.
Yeah, right.
Yep. So,
sure.
Or conference points, I should say. So I don't know. I mean, it's again, a lot of the other teams are in the same conference too. Marshall was in that conference.
Yep.
East was not.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
There's just things to think about. But the QRF, I've never liked the QRF as far as seeding people. I think it's a tool that you can use. But when there's teams that play not a very difficult schedule at all versus teams that play a really difficult schedule, it really kind of throws things off.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's just end on Duluth March here a little bit. So, 19-5-2. I mean, the kids and Coach Bartlett, you know, they turned a lot of heads. They were also another team. You know, they spent about half the year in the Let's Play Hockey Top 20. So, again, building or just turning heads. You know, they got to be proud. I mean, I think they would. I mean, most of us would think that they probably overperformed a little bit during, you know, through the course of the year.
Yeah, no, Coach Bartlett did a heck of a job with that team. He really did, and he's got some stud players that are there that he's got. They're still going to be there, and there's a few that he's really going to miss, and guys like Bennett Sissons and Benson Peterson and Leighton Anderson and Kylan Black. Yeah. You know, these guys are really good hockey players, and they were the heart and soul and the heartbeat of your team this year. And yeah, I think you did a phenomenal job with that group. You really did.
Yeah. All right. All right. Be cool if you nail the thumbs up button right now. Let's move into our previews presented by Aspire Heating and Control, your local Bryant dealer. And Bryant is the official heating and cooling company of your Minnesota Wild. Aspire specializes in gas, electric, and hydronic heating and cooling systems for existing and new construction, residential, and commercial installations available. Services include forced air systems, boilers, heat pumps, and mini splits. Justin is, of course, licensed and bonded. Give him a buzz, 999-5957. Looks like winter's going to stick around for a little while longer. So any furnace issues, Justin at Aspire Heating and Control, 218-999-5957. All right, it's our day to shine. Semifinal Saturday at Amsoil is set. Like we said, you know, Section 7A kind of stays the same that it has the last several years. So number 1 Chisholm will face off against number 4 Proctor, 6:05 on Saturday night. The teams last met December 4th at Memorial Arena. Chisholm maybe came out with a 6-rip win. And then number 2 Harrimantown versus number 3 Cloquet, 8:05 on Saturday night. These teams last met on December 23rd. It was a 4-2 Hawks win with an empty net goal. Shots 31-30. And of course, this is a rivalry game. Thoughts on the single A games?
Well, I better word this very carefully. When I talk about the Hibbing Proctor game, I want to make sure that
You got a bed to sleep on.
yeah. Otherwise, I'm sleeping on the couch again. No, I think that Proctor can hang in this game if their goaltender plays as well as he's been playing. They're going to need him to against a high-powered Hibbing Chisholm team. They're going to score some goals in that game, and they're going to have to put up more than 2 if they want to give themselves a chance. But he's going to have a 40 to 45 save night in order to give himself a chance and give the Rails a chance to win that game. I say that, sorry, Hun, but I say that the Blue Jackets are going to win that game by at least 5.
Well, at least 5. Okay. Yeah. All right. And what about a Harmontown and Cloquet?
I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I really do. Unless Hermantown really found their game here. Obviously, they're playing North Shore and they ended up scoring 14 goals. I'm not really sure at the tempo in which they were going. I know that they didn't stop; they just kept pumping them in.
I heard they had 69 shots or something.
Well, which is what coach tell their teams to do this.
Yeah.
They don't try to go out there and demoralize teams. I want listeners to hear this. It's, oh, well, can't they just be nice and play the third and fourth line so they don't run the score up on them? And the answer to that is no. You don't do that in playoffs.
Yeah, right.
You do that during the season to not demoralize teams. You roll the third and fourth line. You put in your backup or third goalie. You play the fifth and sixth defenseman so guys don't get hurt. In playoffs, you're trying to get rolling. So no, you don't tell them to stop.
Right.
Sorry, but you don't.
Yeah.
You keep going, and I can attest to that because we were in the same situation last night. Hibbing was in the same situation. Yeah. But Hermantown, I think the way that Coach Walters has that CEC team playing, this could be a 1 or 2 goal game. It really could. I think it could come down to a bounce here, or could come down to a special teams battle, or even a goaltending war between Leonardo and Francisco, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a tight one. That's going to be the one to watch, and it's good that it's the 8:05 game. Because it might keep us there a little bit later than we think.
Well, so if you want a ticket for that one, I'd get there early because I think that crowd's going to be pretty massive. Like
you're going to have to get me a ticket for that one. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to try to sneak me in somewhere.
Well, we can get you in. You're Coach Reed Larson. Everyone knows you. We'll get you in.
That doesn't get me in. I only get tickets for the AA ones because I get to go in as a staff member. But if you're not in the other section, they don't let you in for free in the other class.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's those 2 games.
Yeah, now we go on the AA side. So the number 1, Grand Rapids Thunderhawks will play the aforementioned number 4 Forest Lake Rangers. Noon, first game on the ticket on Saturday. Last met, like you said, December 27th. Forest Lake walking away with I did put a 3-2 win in overtime with 1 second remaining. And then number 2, Rock Ridge will face off against Duluth East for the afternoon matinee, 2:05. Now these two last met, game I watched, up in Rock Ridge, last met in Duluth, which ended up being a 4-1 Rock Ridge win on January 8th. This was 2 days after Marshall almost embarrassed Rock Ridge up at the IT Mech, where it was 4-0 Marshall after 1. Now that game ended up being 6-4. The Wolverines kind of woke up. So when I watched this Thursday game, so that Tuesday was Marshall Rock Ridge, Thursday was East Rock Ridge. I remember Rock Ridge, they came out guns a-blazing, firing. I think I said it that week during the podcast. They were a completely different team. So,
they woke up in the third period.
Yeah. So this one could be another good one because, like you said, East didn't finish this season bad, and
no, they're rolling right now. That was a couple of games at the end of the season, and just in passing, having conversations with Coach Patosha, he likes what his team's doing right now. They're playing tough. Their goalie looked really good against Duluth Marshall in that final game of the regular season, and Easton Rock Ridge could be a really interesting team. I'm not saying that Rock Ridge isn't better. They probably are a lot better, but I know East definitely is better than what they were back at that last meeting between the two, and I think there could be a good little battle between those two teams. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to fill the stands up more. Rock Ridge being in the finals or Duluth East being in the finals. Either one I got something else to bring up about the game times on here too. We'll bring that up here in a minute, but yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Go ahead with the game times.
Well, so we got to talk about the Rapids Forest Lake one here before we get to the game times. That Rapids Forest Lake game is, like we said, I said a little bit earlier, the Rapids Forest Lake game for Grand Rapids, that is a redemption game. It is walked out of the rink down there at the Forest Lake Rec Center with a really bad taste in our mouths and really ticked off. Watched a lot of film after that game, and guys were really got buried in the film sessions about who's doing what and where and what are you doing, and a lot of lessons were learned that day. In second half of the year, that was one of those games we had in the rear view mirror. You know, when it's behind you, but you can still see it in the rear view mirror, right? That you want to keep to remember how not to play, but also use it as fuel to fire you up when it comes to the playoffs. It's going to be a fun game to play. Noon game, and the game times, I don't know. I think when they started doing games at Amsoil Arena on semifinal Saturday, I think the reason why the AA games were in the afternoon and the single A games were in the evening, I think it was because you had teams potentially from Forest Lake that had to travel up, or
Andover.
teams from Andover or Blaine.
Anoka's been in the section.
Yeah,
Blaine's been in
well,
the section.
The section is going to lose a lot of money. I mean, there's going to be people there when Cloquet and Hibbing, because when they're playing, and there's going to be okay numbers of people there when Hermantown is playing in Proctor. But really, the AA games are probably what you want to have in the evening slots.
Showcase, yeah.
You want to showcase those games because they're going to bring the most people.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a Rapids Rock Ridge final or a Duluth East Rapids final. Those games are going to be packed.
Yeah.
And it's tough at noon.
Yeah.
You know
right.
what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. It's tough.
So those games bring more people to them. A noon game, I think if you played that game at 6 o'clock, there's going to be more people.
Yeah.
For Forest Lake.
No, it was.
So I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just complaining because I can.
Well, it was it Marshall Rock Ridge last year was the noon game, and it was. I mean, now obviously Marshall's a little smaller school, but there wasn't a lot of energy in the building.
No,
I remember. And then you guys had Andover. There was more energy.
There was
in the
more
building.
energy.
Like I said, you showed up for the night sessions, and they were both, because it was Hermantown.
There was
Proctor
decent
pretty good.
numbers there, but could you imagine if it was
right.
Let's just say it was a Rapids Rock Ridge game or a Rapids Duluth East game.
Yeah.
A Rapids Duluth East game might fill that entire building.
Okay.
It might.
Yeah.
So, but just looking at those times right there, maybe the section needs to look at flipping those back now that we're not dealing with teams from that far away. I mean, Forest Lake is from a long ways away, but not as far as Andover.
Right.
Andover was probably the reason why they switched it, and Elk River, back when Elk River was in the section, that's why they switched it, or Blaine. Forest Lake's not that far. It's only an hour and a half away.
Yeah. Coon Rapids was in the
Yeah,
section.
it's not that far away. Cambridge is even closer, or Northern Edge. Those teams are even closer. They maybe could flip those back.
Yeah. Well, good point. Good point. All right, squash the like button if you can, please. Move on to some scores and more. We talked about the snow at the top of the show. We got a good foot or so. Temps look pretty decent, so this is the time to get your sled on. Head up north with the boys to Fortune Bay Resort and Casino on beautiful Lake Vermilion. Fortune Bay offers 172 rooms and a smoke-free resort, indoor pool, full-service marina, RV park, world-class golf, several dining options, a bar, and all the gaming you can handle. Visit fortunebay.com for more details. You can plan your trip right now, and like I said, follow their page because they always have the current promotions going on. So check out Fortune Bay, give them a like on Facebook, and so you can find out all the current promotions they have going on because they got something going on all the time. All right, scores and more from the week that was. Excuse me. Number 4, Warroad, 16 rip over Park Rapids. So again, you got the top seed. That's just like I said, can't stop working, right? I see Warroad has Thief River next. Brainerd was clipped by STMA 6th rip. Roseau drubbed by Elk River 10-1. We went over the Hermantown 14 rip over North Shore. Bemidji over St. Cloud 5-2. Now they head to Moorhead on Saturday night, so good luck to the Lumberjacks. And the Walleye Scott Edina Hornets update. The Hornets upset by the Wayzata Trojans 4-1, but that was not a playoff game. That was the last regular season game last week. So in the losers column, heading into the playoffs.
That's not always the case there at Edina, but that's going to be an interesting section. You start looking at that Edina, Benilde,
Benilde, who else?
Wayzata.
Oh yeah, Wayzata. Okay.
Holy Angels.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to be an interesting section. We'll see what happens. I think Edina plays Armstrong Cooper first.
Okay.
And I think Wayzata plays Buffalo, who ended up getting a higher seed. I think Buffalo was a 4 seed, and Wayzata was a 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think. Don't quote me on it, but I think I just looked at that. And when was the last time Wayzata was an away quarterfinal?
Ooh yeah.
You know.
Jesus. Okay.
And Benilde too, obviously being an away seed. They were the 6th seed, and Holy Angels was the 3 seed.
3 seed. Okay.
So those games, I think, are going to be going on tonight, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Keep your eye on that one. All right. Wyatt Jonason, 1,000 career saves and counting. So we wanted to acknowledge Wyatt. Congratulations. Luka Roloff, one of your old players. The latest Bemidji Beaver. Now, Ernie out there in Bemidji doesn't get a ton of blue chip players, but he's got a good one here.
Yeah, no, Luca's put the time in. He started off in Sioux City in the USHL, ended up getting moved on to Tri-City and really found a home there and has really been playing good. He's had a couple of bouts where he's had a few injuries and was sick for a little bit, but has really found himself a good spot in Tri-Cities and had conversations with a couple of Division I teams and went on a visit here a couple of weeks back, and I talked to the old man here. We had Todd on the show here a couple years ago, and talked to him the other day, and he said, yeah, he went there and they rolled out the red carpet for him. He said Ern actually had Travis Winter, his assistant coach, run practice that day, so Ern could give him a personal tour. And he said he loved the campus, he loved it there, and
good.
He was excited when he left, and he barely got out of town, and talked to his mom on the phone and talked to his dad and called on the way out of town and said, I want to be a Beaver. So.
Wow, it's going to be nice for Mom, nice for Dad, nice for Uncle John, and most of all, nice for Grandpa Anton.
Yeah, Anton, you don't have to drive very far.
Yeah, not too far away.
Well, he's pretty good buddies with Ern, too.
Is he? Well, Green Bay guys.
Oh,
Green Bay. That's right. They bleed green. So congratulations to Luca. And just a quick shout out to the Bemidji Lumberjack girls. We'll be playing in the state tournament starting tomorrow. First trip since 2007. So,
that's a while.
Yeah, of course, led by their phenom Bailey Rupp. You know, but
19 years.
Yeah, so I want to congratulate the Lumberjack ladies. All right, so like we said, semifinal Saturday is set. It'll be this weekend, of course, the 21st. Our party, the Tea with Miss McGill Show party. We want you to join us if you're post-gaming the AA games. It's going to be from 3:30 to 5:30, Green Mill, Canal Park. So you can just walk right over that little lift bridge. You go out the backside of the old deck, and there's a little bridge. Walk right across, real easy. So we'll have pizzas, hors d'oeuvres, all that good stuff. We'll have some merch on hand. So if you want to get some merch, we'll have it there. So 3:30 to 5:30, Green Mill. We said, come down. We got the food covered. Cocktails are on you, but we got the food. Like I said, we got plenty of pizzas, plenty of apps. So we'd love to see you. It's that one time a year where everybody kinda is in the same place, you know. So we'd love to see everybody. So like I said, 3:30 to 5:30. Get you out of there about 5:30. Get back for the 6:05 game. So like I said, if you're post gaming AA, you could be pre gaming single A. So we'll get you out of there at 5:30 and get back up to the Amsoil and get your seat. Remember the lines last year. Like I said, I remember it. So do you know, is there a way to buy online ticketing for this? I think there is for the finals. But
I can't remember how they do that. I think you can get everything through Ticketmaster, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Can check with the section on that.
Right, okay. All right, Coach, anything to add to episode 128?
No, just looking forward here to semifinal Saturday. A few more days of practice. I should say two more, Thursday, Friday practice, and ready to rock and roll. Get out of bed in the morning, head down to Duluth, get a game going, and then hopefully I'm in a better mood this year after our game, so that I can have a little bit more fun at the party over at Green Mill. But and then come over and watch the games in the evening. So should be fun.
So everyone's invited. So come on and see us, and so please comment. Like I said, put your predictions. Who you got? I was even thinking maybe if you get them all right on the AA and single A side, maybe we'll get you some merch. We'll get you a T-shirt or a cap or something like. But throw in the comments.
You didn't tell me who you got. What's your predictions for single A? Who's going to be playing in the second championship game?
I kind of think all the way around. I'm going to go with one upset. I'm going to go with Cloquet over Hermantown. That's the only upset. Otherwise, I think it's going to be pretty much kind of like we said, last night. Everybody was supposed to win one. I'm gonna throw Cloquet a bone. Like I said, they've played pretty tough, and like I said, that rivalry game's what adds. The other games aren't rivalry games. That's the one game where there's that rivalry game element. Like I said, it's gonna be full, right? It's gonna be packed. So I'll go with the CEC win for that night 8 o'clock night game on Saturday night. All right, find us everywhere. On X, we're under T McGill. Find us under T with Miss McGill. Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. On Facebook and YouTube, you would search Goatsportsmediallc. LLC. Don't forget the LLC. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We still have some stuff we're cooking on. We can't announce it yet, but you want to get subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're on Rumble, it's Goat Sports, one word. They said merch. We'll have some down there. Come see us. If you want to order something, just get a hold of one of us. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We can take care of you that way. And a big thank you to the greatest partners on earth, by Waback Family and Virginia Family Dental, Aspire Heating and Control, the Ring Sports Bar and Grill, Aero Auto Glass and Door, Fortune Bay Resort and Casino, Zorba's on beautiful Lake Pokegama, Iron Range Goalie Academy, Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC, Minnesota Hockey Camps, the Jackson Hole Moose Hockey Club, Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, and Integral Hockey Twin Ports. For Reed Larson, I am Puka. Get out there and be your dream. You're tuned to the Goat Sports Media Audio Network, cleaned by Virginia Family Dental.